人の夢は終わらねえ!
What is going on, guys? It is your boy the Timecodes Gaming coming at you again with another video, and today, guys, we're going into what's pretty much become the consensus best Blackbeard deck in the meta. This deck has been topping the rank sim rankings for the top 3 weeks now, and it stayed relatively, like, pretty much exactly the same for the past 3 weeks. It is so strong, it is very consistent, and it will give your opponents nightmares. So with that being said, guys, today we're going to be going through the deck list, the card by card. We're going to be going through Blackbeard's good matchups, its bad matchups, cards to be prepared for, and we're getting some games in for you as well. I finally pulled off like what Blackbeards always do to me, like end up getting 3 of the 4 drop. What's his name? The Burgess, like 3 of the Burgess, and then playing the 10 drop. I finally pulled it off. It's a really nice feeling. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. We're on the way to 350 subs. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. Okay, guys, so starting out with the leader, if you don't know what Blackbeard does, here we go. Your on-play abilities don't activate. Yep, you heard that right. And then activate main. You may trash 1 card from your hand. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, your opponent's on-play abilities don't activate. You did not miss here. Those were real words. These are real words printed on the card. That is the Blackbeard leader effect. So a lot of his cards just center around these activate main abilities, and they're still very strong despite not having the on-play effect that Black usually relies on. So getting into the first card here, we're running Van Augur. The 4 of Van Augur, I didn't used to be very high on this card, but with the combination of the Kuzans, with the combinations of the Doc Q as well, the Van Augur becomes a really critical piece of this deck, and it allows for some really good removal. And even then, if you're not using it for its -3 cost effect, you're still getting a 5-drop 6k body, and when it's KO'd, you draw a freaking card. So this card replaces itself. It's good cost reduction, and it's a relatively big body, and it has counter. Very good card, guys. 4 of for sure. Next we have Jesus Burgess. Jesus Burgess is probably, maybe it's Jesus, I don't know. Jesus 4 cost 5k, counter 1000. This character cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects. Yep. If your leader has the Blackbeard Pirates type, this character gets plus 1000 power for every 4 cards in your trash. You heard both of those effects correctly. These are words printed on this card. And you can fill your trash very easily with this deck, both with the Blackbeard leader ability, with the Hachinusu, which allows you to trash a card from your hand, and then you search the top 3 and you grab a Blackbeard Pirates. The Shigen Finger Gun works really well with it. And yeah, guys, you're not going to have any problems making this a 7, 8, 9k attacker that cannot be KO'd. You'll see in the games today, like, I set up 2 or 3 of these that were 9k attackers. It's fucking insane. This card makes the deck go round and gives us that ability to go over the top. Next we have the 2k here, Shiryu. He really never comes up when if you're just playing, you're never going to play this card really, but his effect is draw 2, trash 2 when attacking. Maybe someday in some matchups it could come up, but really just for here for a 2k. Stronger does come up as it's a 2k, and you'll also be playing it sometimes when you need that extra removal. So activate main, you may trash 1 card from your hand, and this character, if your leader has the Blackbeard Pirates type, draw 1 card, then give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost. So it provides that little bit of extra cost reduction that you might need to hit something with your Doc Q or your finger guns or your liberation. So very strong 2k counter there. Next is the Doc Q. Doc Q also makes this deck go round. Activate main, rest this character if your leader has Blackbeard Pirates type. KO up to one of your opponent's cost 1 or lower characters, and then on KO draw a card. So repeatable removal for 2 mana, 2 Dawn, counter 1000, and when it's removed, it replaces itself. This card is fucking broken. It is so good with your Van Augurs. It's good with your Strongers. Yeah, a very strong card, especially against a rush heavy format with the Zoro. This card comes up a lot. Next we have the Vasco Shot. This is just a 2 cost 2k body with blocker. Really nice blocker to pair with your 10 drop. Like, once you play your 10 drop, if your opponent has a lot of attackers, they might be able to get around it, but this little blocker can actually be very important for the deck. Next we have the 10 drop. a Marshall D Teach, 10 drop, 12k, blocker, activate main if your leader has the Blackbeard Pirates, negate your opponent's leader effect, and then one of your opponent's characters cannot attack, and it is a 12k blocker. So this really shuts down the game, it really slows it down for you, and it really allows you to set up your Burgesses here. Next we have the Lafitte, and honestly guys, I'm mulling for this card. If I do not see this card in my starting hand, I am usually going to mull for it. It is so important for the strategy because your opponent has to swing into it, and that just takes a little bit more pressure off of your life. And the longer the game goes on, your Burgesses are going to get better, your Marshall D Teaches are going to get better, and yeah, if this stays on board for another turn, like, it's just a lot of advantage the black usually can't develop, because I don't think another black deck has this type of searcher. The Lafitte is very strong, and you want to see this every game. Next we have the 5-drop Kuzan, guys. This helps you recycle for your Burgesses, for your Van Augers, and can set up for some really nice plays. It cannot be removed by anything. By anything, this card will stay on board no matter fucking what. So you play it and you know it's going to be there next turn, and then it's activate main, trash this character, draw a card, then play up to one Blackbeard Pirates type character with the cost a 5 or less. So a very strong card, makes the deck go around, gets your Burgesses, gets your Van Augers, and could possibly get your Shiryus or your Doc Qs as well. Next is a Finger Gun, 4-cost event. Trash the top 2 cards of your deck, KO up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or less characters. Very good removal and fills your trash. And then the 1-drop event, this is my age. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and reveal up to one Blackbeard Pirates type card other than this card. So just a 1-drop searcher. Next we have the Liberation, 4-cost, activate main. If your leader has Blackbeard Pirates, choose up to one of your opponent's characters and negate their effect for this turn. Then if that character has a cost of 4 or less, KO that character. So this will come up a lot like into 8-cost Kid. It'll come up a lot into a lot of those other bigger characters that have very powerful effects. Even if you're not KOing it, you're still negating that effect for the turn. So very strong removal and potential negation. And then Hachinusu is the card that fills your trash. It is a 1-drop stage. Trash 1 card from your hand, then rest the stage, look at the top 3, and grab a Blackbeard Pirates type. So a very strong card. There's a couple of like keystones to this deck. It is the stage, it is the 10-drop Teach, it's Burgess, it's Kuzan, and it's Lafitte. And then the other cards just complement them really well. A very strong deck, guys. If you're having trouble building a Blackbeard deck, you cannot go wrong with this list here. So that being said, guys, let's get into some problematic cards for the deck, or cards that you should be looking out for. Like when you're playing against a Bonnie, what should I be looking for? What cards are very strong that I should be negating? Let's get into that. Okay guys, so I went ahead and put together this list of cards from some of the top decks that you're going to want to be making sure that you use Blackbeard ability when your opponents have enough Dawn to play these cards. For Shanks, guys, we're looking at Silver's Rayleigh, we're looking at Ben Beckman on the 7 and 8 Dawn turns for Shanks. These are just some of the really powerful on-play effects available to Shanks. Shanks runs a lot of Rush these days, so on like the early turns, you're really not going to be wanted black holing Shanks, but on these 7, 8 Dawn turns where your opponent has some removal available, you might be wanting to invest a black hole. Next into Bonnie, guys, they have 2 really big drops that have a big impact on the game, Dofi and the Shanks. Honestly, if your opponent's at 9 or 10 Dawn and you're playing against Bonnie, you might just want to be playing the black hole to avoid the 10 drop Dofi. Just use your leader ability, get around this card, you don't have to worry about it. Next into the Doflamingo matchup, this card, the Jozu and the Law, can be a problem because they can bounce back your Burgesses to hand. So if you do have like 1 or 2 Burgesses on board and you want to make sure it stays on board, just make sure to use your leader ability that turn so they're not able to bounce your Burgesses back to hand for free. And that will be probably one of the best uses of Black Hole against the Dofi matchup. And the Dofi matchup's just really hard. Mostly, like, a big reason behind that is because they can put so many bodies on board and just swing big numbers at you, but also these 2 cards are really good at countering the Burgess. Next against Usopp, guys, Usopp on that 7 Dawn turn, you black hole every single time to get around this Rebecca. It just really slows down the Usopp player, and you're going to want to use it. Probably like after 7 Dawn turn, you're going to want to be using black hole for the rest of the game. Next against Purple Luffy, there's also some really good targets here. We have the 9-drop Charlotte Linlin on play, Crash 1, and then you gain a life. Same thing with the 9-drop Luffy here. This character does not gain Rush without the on-play ability. So if you do Black Hole it, this will just be a 9-cost 10k vanilla pretty much. So very, like, if it still had Rush, it would be questionable whether to Black Hole it, but if you Black Hole it, it will not gain Rush. And then the Luffy Taro on the 7 Dawn turn, this just takes a lot of tempo out of the purple Luffy. Instead of just establishing the Luffy Taro and like a Sangoro or a Zorojuro, they just establish either one or the other, so they can't get a gigantic board so soon in the game. So some really good targets against the purple Luffys, and this might come up against red purple Luffy as well. And next into the Eustace Captain Kid, we have a couple of big drops again. The 7-drop Law, this will negate its gaining life ability. The 8-drop Kid, this will negate its burn ability. And then the Portgas D Ace, on play you may add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to your life. So, and then if you have 2 life cards or less, this character gains Rush. So I think that also negates the Rush ability of Ace. I know it negates the life gain, but I also think it negates the Ace, the Rush ability. So it becomes a 10 cost, 10k vanilla. So some really good targets here against the yellow matchup as well. So these are just some cards I wanted to point out for you guys. Just be aware of them. If you're playing Blackbeard competitively, you're going to want to be looking out for these cards, which are present in some of the top decks in the format. So that being said, guys, now we are going on to, I think we'll go to matchups next. Let's go to matchups. Okay, guys, now getting into Blackbeard's matchup chart here, we can see right off the bat that he has a 53% win rate into Shanks, and that is such a big deal because Shanks is currently the most popular and best deck in the format. So having a pretty much even and a little bit positive matchup into the best deck in the format is always a very, very positive aspect here. So 53% into Shanks, 50% into the Mirror, obviously, and then his 2 worst matchups. So we have 3 relatively bad matchups here as Blackbeard. We have the 37% into Zoro, and we have the 23% into Dofi, and the 40% into Lim. The Dofi is just, that's tough, guys. You're just really not beating Dofi as a Blackbeard player, and that could be a problem moving forward because he's on the rise again, boys. He is on the rise. I'm expecting to see this representation tick up. He has such a high win rate, so I don't see why his popularity wouldn't continue to rise. So the Dofi matchup will be a problem for Blackbeard in the future, just because, like I said, those laws, those Jozus, and then just Dofi's ability to establish so many bodies on board is a problem for the deck. And you're able to get those free swings into the Lafitte's with your Peronas and your Buggies. So it's just a really bad matchup for the deck and very, very tough for him. And then 40% for Lim, I mean, it's not the worst. Like, Lim can establish those Zoro bodies. Lim just has a lot of really good non-on-play effects that Blackbeard can't deal with as well. And some real, she has like a lot of 5 costs as well. That's hard for Blackbeard to remove. And then Zoro's just super aggro. You're gonna have some trouble against that. You're gonna have to see your dot Qs. You're gonna have to see your Shiryus if you want a chance against the Zoro. And they also have a lot of the when attacking abilities for the Tony Chopper. That is hard for the Blackbeard to deal with. And besides that, guys, we have a relatively even matchup spread. We have a 47% into Smoker, 43% into Pluffy, 61% into Bonnie, 50% into Usopp. I'm surprised the Usopp matchup isn't a little bit more in our favor, but that is, I think you just, I don't know. I've had some good success with Blackbeard into Usopp, but maybe that's just me. And then into Lucci. Lucci is a fucking good man. Like, it is so tough for Lucci to beat Blackbeard just because your cards can't be KO'd, like the Burgesses, the Kuzans, and then you can negate all of their on-play abilities. So a very, very tough matchup for the Lucci there. 58% into Pluffy, and then a 60% into Eustace Captain Kid. So overall, a very solid matchup spread for the Dofi. The most concerning is obviously the 23% into Dofi. And going like deeper into the format, that could be a huge problem, guys. That it might just be the death of Blackbeard in NA. Like, I don't expect that to happen because the existence of Blackbeard means he will be played because he can counter. Like, his ability is so strong that he will always be present. But this 22% win rate into Dofi is fucking abysmal. Like, you're basically never winning. If you see Dofi, it's kind of go next. So that is a huge problem for the deck. And I'm curious to see how that turns out and how the meta shifts for Blackbeard with this bad matchup into Dofi. So that being said, guys, we have a couple of games for you. Make sure to stick around. I finally established all my Jesus purchases. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy, and let's get right into it. Okay, guys, getting into game number 1 here, we're going up against a LUCCI. This is one of the better matchups for Blackbeard, so I'm hoping to not get embarrassed. Here we're going to use the 1-drop event, search out a Lafitte, and play down the stage, trash out the other stage, and we can either take... We have a couple good options here, 10-drop, Lafitte, and the Burgess. We decided to take the Burgess just because the Burgess is fucking broken in this matchup. Like, what are they going to do? It cannot be KO'd. It's just going to sit there the entire game and, like, have devastation on them. As long as we set it up correctly, this Burgess will stay on board for as long as we want. He's going to swing 5 at us. We're going to go ahead and take that. We find another Burgess. We're going to go ahead and discard one of them to counter out. We're going to play down the Lafitte, KO the Spandam, and we're going to swing for 5, and it looks like we're going to play down the Lafitte here. So a very nice turn for us. This is exactly what we want to see. For the start of Blackbeard, we established the .Q, we established the Lafitte, and now our opponent has to deal with them, and he only has his leader on board. What we don't want to see here is probably the LUCCI, and we could black hole to prevent that, but I really don't want to be giving him cards that early. And if he does black hole, it's not the end of the world. We still get the card off the .Q, and the next turn we'd be able to liberation it. So we're not the worst spot here. Here he's going to use his man Sherry, draw a Brook from his trash. He's going to swing 5 at the .Q. We're going to draw a card off of that, and he's going to play down his 3-cost Brook. Here we're going to use the Shiryu to get rid of the Brook, nice and easy. We're going to swing a 5 into the man Sherry. Use stage ability really quickly, and we have a bunch of Kuzans in hand, guys. So we have 2 Burgesses in the trash. We have a bunch of Kuzans, so we know we're going to be able to set up really nicely for later in the game. We're going to discard one of the Kuzans just because we don't need 3. Like 2 is perfect enough for us. He's going to swing a 6 into us. We're going to go ahead and take that, and then he's going to... I think he finger pistoled. Yeah, he finger pistoled my Shiryu. Completely fine with us. He establishes the Uta. And here we're going to play down the Lafitte, get a nice quick search off. We're going to grab the 10-drop, just setting up for later in the game. We're going to swing for a 6. Then we're going to play down our first Kuzan. And we are looking really, really good here, guys. We're still looking pretty good on cards in hand. Relatively healthy on life. And we have a lot of good plays coming up for us in the coming turns after we play down the Kuzan here. And here's where we're going to start electing to black holing him, just because this is where black cards can start getting a lot of value off of their effects. Like maybe if he has a 9-drop or an 8-drop Isho, he takes 2 cards out of our hand, or he has any other powerful black effects like the Rebecca or something along those lines. He's going to swing a 6 into us. We're going to go ahead and counter out of that. He's going to play it on a Rebecca and a Shirahoshi. Like that Rebecca is just completely negated here. So I forget, I just haven't played against Uta very much. I forget that she can't be KO'd by leaders. Pretty good ability, I like that. Maybe I'll start running Uta a little bit more. Here, we want to get her off the board, or at least get him to use one of his blockers. Then on our 10 Dawn, we can either play another Kuzan and play the Van Augur, or play the 10-drop. We're going to decide to just set up our board, so then the following turn we can use both of our Kuzans here, and then get the Burgesses on board. They're going to be gigantic bodies that are not removable by black. They're 8Ks. We're going to use our stage ability, discard the .Q, find another 2K, and now we have 2 9K bodies on board, and we have the 10-drop Marshall D Teach coming down next turn. We are looking very, very good. Like I don't get to these board states when I'm playing Blackbeard, just because I'm not that good with the deck, obviously. But yeah, this is a very nice feeling. There's really nothing our opponent can do here. I think he tried to finger gun. Yeah, he tried to finger gun our Van Augur, but he misclicked and did not press the right button, and then it didn't use the finger gun ability. But either way, I think we were in a very, very good spot there. The same things happened to me. I lost my mind the other day, because you have to double click when you use Onigashima now to get the Dawn. And I lost my mind when that happened to me. Here we're going to swing for 5. He's going to block with the Rebecca. We're going to swing with the Van Augur into the Uta. Then we get 2 9K swings. Then we're going to play down our 12K blocker, use his ability. The Khalifa cannot attack next turn. We're going to black hole just to be safe, discarding another one of the Burgesses. We're going to use the Hachinisu effect and find another 2K. So a lot of defense in hand. We have the blockers on board. and our board is just looking fucking nasty. The Burgesses are now 10Ks. We're gonna block that 5K attack with our leader, with our Marshall D Teach. We are looking very, very strong here, guys. And this is like the helpless feeling that you get sometimes when you're playing against Blackbeard. Here he's gonna 9-drop Kaido us, a very good card. Luckily, we top deck the 10 cost Marshall D Teach. I don't think it mattered very much, but this kind of just seals the game nice and easy. We're going to take this running away, and just for some icing on the cake, we're gonna black hole one last time. We have two 12K bodies on board, and yeah, that's gonna be game. A very nice showing of Blackbeard against the Lucci. A very tough matchup for the Lucci. And now we're going up against Marco here. So we do find the Lafitte off rip. Very nice for us. We're gonna go ahead and use it, grab the stage, and start filling up our trash for those Burgesses later in the game. We're gonna discard the Liberation and then get a Shiryu from the... I think we got that from the stage effect. Oh, the screen's moving too fast for me. Here he's gonna use his Marco ability, attach one Dawn, and probably... like, he might have a Sequake here, you might have something that can on-play KO my Lafitte. Either way, it's getting gone this turn. He's going to play down a 3-drop Dofi here, and we have a very nice response for that next turn with the 4-cost Shiryu. So here we can either swing... That's what we do. We're going to use the Hachinusu effect, discard the Burgess, and find another Shiryu. What we really want to see is the Kuzans here, so we can start getting those Burgesses back from the grave. Here we're going to use the Shiryu ability and KO the Dofi. So looking pretty good here. We have the 1-cost Searcher in our hands, so we will probably be able to find a Kuzan very quickly here with either the Stage Search or the 1-cost Searcher in our hand. Here he's going to play down the 5-drop Ace. Very nice card for him. And on our 7 Dawn turn, we have a couple of options here. We can look for what we want to see with the event. We do find the Kuzan there, and then we have a free 5K swing into the Marco. Probably just get a card out of his hand. We're probably going to swing 6 here and then play down the Kuzan and leave him on board for the following turn. We're going to use our Hachinusu effect, discard the Shiryu, and grab a Burgess. Yeah, I think Burgess was probably the best play there. We're going to use the Black Hole ability just so he doesn't get too much Marco's kind of a wild card, like we never know what he's playing. He Gravity Blades Raging Tigers our board. I think he forgot that Kuzan cannot be removed. I felt like Kuzan just stays on board. Kuzan's fucking... like, I've done the same thing he did, just because I thought that those types of effects could hit Kuzan, but no, Kuzan is fucking broken. And this is where we establish our huge board, I think. So we're going to swing 5, then we're going to swing 6, then we're going to establish 2 Burgesses, and then a 3rd Burgess with the Kuzan ability. And we are looking very, very fucking strong here. We have 3 7Ks on board out of nothing. And next turn we have the 10-drop available. So we should win this game 9 times out of 10. But I am ass, guys. Do not forget, I am fucking ass. So it might be a little closer than it should be. Here he's going to play down the 3... Oh, I see. Okay, never mind. I see why we did not win this game 10 times out of 10. He Gravity Blade Raging Tigers our Burgesses, so that is a big setback for us. But here we're going to swing for 5, get a 2K out of his hand, swing a 7. Then we're going to go ahead and play down the 10-cost Teach and just get that blocker on board right away. We discard the Kuzan there. I'm not sure if that was the right play. And then we're just going to end up black holing him, discarding our stage for free. So we're still looking good here. He does have the Ace and the Dofi on board, but hopefully this Burgess is able to stick around. He's just going to swing an 8 into it. That is a very nice feature of the Marco, just being able to give that minus 2K and make people's boards a lot easier to deal with. He's going to swing 6 into my leader. I'm just going to block it with the blocker. So still looking in an okay spot. Those aces will be pesky just because we cannot remove them with the Van Augur .Q combo. Instead, we're going to go ahead and remove the blocker and try to put a little bit more pressure on him. So I could swing into the ace with the Marshall D Teach, and that might have been the correct play, honestly. But I think I should have swung into him in hindsight just to clear that ace. But I can see where I was coming from by not swinging into him. Here we're going to use his Black Hole ability again, nullify the Marco's on-play effects. I'm going to use Marco ability. He's probably looking for maybe another ace. Like, those aces are a problem for me. If he has another rush character and establishes 3 on board right now, that would be a big problem. But we do have 2 2Ks in hand, so we are not defenseless. He's going to go ahead and minus 2K my Martial D Teach. And here comes the 6K attack, so we're going to counter out of the first one with a 2K. Then the second one, we're going to go ahead and block with the Teach. That was probably a bad move. I probably should have just let the Van Augur go. Let's see what he decides to do here. He has a bunch of Dawn left. He's going to go ahead and swing 12 into my Teach, which is a guaranteed kill, so he gets it off the board. But we do have... So this is a sketchy situation, guys. This is a very sketchy situation. We do not have a lot of power on board, but he only has 3 cards in hand, and he has 1 Dawn up. So here we're going to swing a 7 into him. And we're going to see if we do get the Rad Beam out of him. And here we're deciding what to do. We can... This was a bad play by me. I should have swung the 6 into him first and see what I hit, or if he took it or not, and then I could have swung a lot bigger with my Lafitte. We're going to swing the 6 here. And he ends up not having the 2K, and then we're just going to attach 6 Dawn to the Lafitte and go for game. And that is going to be it. He has 2 1Ks in hand, and that is the end of the game, boys. So that is it for today. Let's get right into the post game. Alright guys, if you made it to the end of this video, make sure to comment Mr. Beard in the comment section below so that I know that you made it through this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are here, I love you so much. I hope you had a good Monday. Mondays always suck, but today wasn't bad. Today wasn't bad. So I hope it wasn't bad for you too. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoy. And yeah, that's about all I got. See ya.